So I was just waiting for the runners to start up here. Both of them are ready. We're just getting the gatekeeper set, and then we should be. And actually, we are already off. And maybe we're not quite there yet. Apologies, guys. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties here, which figures for my first time commentating. But while we wait here and get this straightened out and start the race, looking to guess what's everyone's ideas for our first item going. And that's good to hear, Dark. So our restreamer Dark here, he's just trying to get the streams back up and running here, and then we will get started. Hi, Pizzer, welcome. Alright, that looks a little bit better here. Looks like we're almost ready to get started.
First save.
Hey, can you guys hear me now? Hi, sorry, I've apparently been talking with a headset that's been turned off, and I don't know for how long that's been. Alright, so trying to pick up here and hopefully I haven't missed anything tracking. We have reserve tank and the 230 missiles that Sparky's going into now, and a ton of power. Oh, where was Spazer at? Alright, so ptoil stops and does a quick refill at the ship before he goes up to Gauntlet. And Sparky looks like he was going down to bomb Chozo and then decided to. I'm pretty sure it's bomb Teresa if I remember the manual right. And I think I got everyone caught up now on tracking. And just an E-tank in the first part of Gauntlet. As we see Sparky come in and try their luck at it. Which I did this the other day and I got halfway through and died, which was not fun. And apologies ahead of time if I do miss anything. I'm commentating for the first time and tracking, so I might be a tiny bit distracted. As Sparky gets grabbed by the dragon creature, and that can kill you very easily. And back to Gauntlet, we just have an energy tank and missiles, and that was a nice jump by ptoil to jump back through the blocks before they reap. Yes, the Yapping Maw. I do not remember all the guy's name. And another E-tank just outside the room at the bottom of Gauntlet. Very healthy so far, so that would be nice if they end up doing any sort of hell runs or anything, which should not be in the logic, but for players of higher skill, they'll end up doing that rather than searching for, say, Vry at Shack or something. Alright, and Sparky going straight down the middle there, so he can get to both items if he wants. And ptoil is the first one to enter into Green Brinstar. Proto, the reason why ptoil has one Samus head lit up is because they are up 1 game to nothing. And we find another pack of power bombs. So those could come in very handy to let them be able to do 1 or 2, maybe even 3 crystal flashes later on if they need. ptoil runs past my favorite creatures, the Executions, as he checks out what's in the little side cubby here, and we get our first super missiles. Right on cue, Smokey. And I missed what ptoil is going for, unless Oh yeah, because he didn't have the supers for the green door earlier. And we have a charge beam. That's easy to find. And Sparky finds his first super, so he will not have to go around the Ectocon room a second time to get to the charge beam. So both runners will find some good stuff, and we won't have to worry about getting the 60 super missiles required to get Mother Brain down here. So if we find plasma, then that'll pretty much be everything they need as far as weaponry goes. But even with charge and space already, they won't ignore all the missile packs and supers that they come through, because having some is still better rated DPS than even charge plasma. Just at some point though, it's not worth it to pick up anything more because you have to play the victory fanfare every time that you get that item. Sparky's going to be heading down to get their charge beam and visit the Ectocoons next. Yes, Smokey, it's definitely a very healthy seed, which is why I would be surprised if we don't see some hell runs in this seed, at least to maybe check out Bubble Mountain and Speed, or even Ice Beam. Hey, looky, there goes another energy tank. So we go over towards, I believe this is called Mission Impossible here next that ptoil is going to be going in. And with all the health, there's not much that can really harm these two, at least not in Brinstar or Wreck Ship. Lower Norfolk can still be dangerous until we find our suits, but right now these two are in pretty good. Alright, Toil's going down to check the charge beam location and finds another energy tank. He's going to head back up and check the Spore Spawn skip, where you basically just have to sit at the right spot there and shoot a super missile back into that blank space, and you will actually take out the super missile block, letting you effectively skip one of the best bosses of all. Of course, the prize was not very good, just regular missiles. Sparky going down to get their next energy tank, or excuse me, missile. I presume they'll go down and check the charge location next, while Toil will probably head over to the Wavegate glitch room. Traditionally, this room is meant to be done with the wave beam, but with high jump boost and super missiles, you can jump and fire off a super missile at the right height and hit the blue trigger, which will keep the gate raised up instead of it coming down on you before you can get into it. And Toil is rewarded with 5 more super missiles. It looks like Sparky's having a little bit of difficulty setting up the Spore Spawn skip, but he does. And looks like Toil will be the first person to get over to Red Tower if they choose to go that way, or they may go back into Blueprint Star. And hey, look, more power. Nope, we are going towards Red Tower. Alright, so it looks like we are heading down towards either Norfair or Kraid. Skipping over the X-ray room since we don't really have an easy way to clear through there. Usually either grappling or space jump is your preferred method, although people can do some pretty interesting damage boosts across. And Sparky ends up going in and getting his wave gate glitch, and Toil finds Ice Beam at the spacer location. So that is definitely great news for him, especially even if you don't necessarily use it right now during the end game. That is very useful. You don't have to worry about your super count as much. You can freeze all the Metroids in the world and you are good. Alright, Toil is heading straight for Kraid. We'll see if we get any uploadable content here out of Kraid as we try to get 2 quick kills hopefully on this. Good use of X-ray there. I believe that might have been a reserve tank. I didn't catch a clear look. Toil blast mini Kraid in the face with the super. Alright, thank you, Smokey. Sparky's making their way over to Red Tower, and Toil begins their Kraid fight. The idea is to shoot enough supers in quick succession into Kraid's mouth that you basically skip the part of the phase where he stands up. And actually, Sparky is going up Red Tower instead of down, so we get some divergence, which is nice. The bad thing for him is he's going to miss Ice Beam. Alright, and Toil does not get the quick kill. He was just a little bit slow or missed the super, it looked like. And Kraid is down for Toil. And we are rewarded with another energy tank, which Toil then promptly leaves behind. He did not like Kraid's parting gift. Alright, and Sparky gets the climb up the Red Tower. There's a couple items to check in here before you go back into Crater area, where I would presume they would head over to Wreck Ship here with all the energy and ammo there. I just think this room would be so much easier if you had Ice Beam. Alright, and Kraid was stashing just 5 super missiles. We got some sync super missiles on our screen here. And hey, Sparky actually, this is working out for them as they find gravity. So Sparky could actually have a really nice route depending on what they find in Wreck Ship, especially if say Raya was there, where they can clear all of that, head straight down into Meridia, clear that, and then finish in with Kraid and Rick. Toil searching out the high jump boot location, ends up getting the quick kill to be able to get out of the room easier without having to wait for the enemy to come all the way back down the hole again there to have to kill him. And we see grappling beam in the high jump location. Definitely will make an easier time getting to X-ray, parts of wrecked ship, Meridia exploration, and also helps kill everyone's favorite. Alright, so Sparky actually finds Variasuit. I'm amazed here that it was the perfect decision to make for this particular seed. It looks like ptoil is actually going to be going back up into Red Tower and ascending that, so they will end up with their suits very soon here as well. Sparky is trying a fun little trick I've seen a couple times. Don't ask me to explain it, but it looks incredibly. Ptoil is going to use their grappling beam and check out X-ray while we were here. And there is the swag jump Sparky pulled off. Just more missiles in the water there. There's not much more that Sparky's gonna need. If they find Plasma Beam and Speed Booster, they will be largely set. Space Jump would be a nice item to get as well, but definitely not necessarily required to get the game to beat the game. Sparky just wanted to do the swag. That's all it was. Alright, so ptoil continuing to make their climb up Red Tower, where they will get their gravity suit here very soon. And just made a complete liar. So first checked in wrecked ship, pretty much the only check you can do before you power the station back up, just results in more super missiles. Alright, now ptoil's going back up. They just wanted to get an energy refill there. Yes, that they definitely do. So ptoil having a much easier time up the Red Tower climb than Sparky did, even with falling there. Ice Beam is definitely the developer intended way to get up this particular area, considering where you find ice when you come back up. And Sparky starting their Phantoon fight. So the fun thing about Phantoon here is that you want to make sure you're hitting them with missiles or charge shots, because otherwise super missiles will trigger an enrage, and that not only takes time, that's certainly more damage that Phantoon can do to you, especially when you're low health. Alright, and there is gravity for ptoil. So as long as they keep going up, they will run into their Briar and will pretty much be on the same path as Sparky. So right now the advantage is largely in Sparky's court, depending on if they have any more divergence. And how they do in boss fights. Toil ends up with another missile pack. They're pretty much one item away now, or their next item should be the Variety suit as long as they go to the right on getting out of the red tower. And Phantoon is just not playing nice at all with Sparky. It's almost like he knows he doesn't want to die. Or die again since he's a ghost. And there we go. Phantoon down for Sparky. Alright, and Toil is about to get their Variety suit. And they're just going to grapple across. So now Sparky can check the rest of Wreckship now that power's been restored because Phantoon is an energy hog and also doesn't like paying his electric bills, but that's a whole other. Let's see, Toil going in to face Phantoon here in just a few moments. More missiles there for Sparky. And the only bad thing about restoring power to the ship is that you get all these fun little enemies that now try to come to life. So, hey, looky, there's another energy tank. I think that's probably like 24 now. Alright, Sparky choosing to skip the save and going to the right side of Wreckship, so we're going straight up to the top here, and Toil is now engaging Phantoon. This room I find to be one of the more unpleasant rooms of Wreckship because you have to kill all the enemies before any of the doors will be unlocked, and if you don't open the door after unlocking them and then you leave the room, you're gonna have to kill the enemies again to unlock the other door. Yeah, Sparky, not 100% sure if they are looking for anything in particular or if they want speed and ice, but obviously both would be definitely nice. But we're going to see Sparky go over to the Choser bowling alley here in just a few moments. Toy looks like they are almost halfway done there, actually over halfway done now with Phantoon, just a couple more. Phantoon is deciding they are going to be difficult for Toil as well. And there we go, Phantoon down. So that gives Toil a 2-to-1 boss advantage, even though he's a little bit behind depending on what way he goes and what items we are still to find here in the. I don't know, Smokey. I think with Grappling Beam, I would take Dragon any day of the week over Phantoon. But with their gear, I don't think it really matters. It's just time. Alright, so we find another energy tank over at Gravity. Yes, Phoenix, we found the two suits pretty much back to back. So no chances of a Hell Run or a Suitless Meridia today. Both players are leaving wreck ships, so ptoil may just feel that they are in go mode and are just saying that they don't need anything else. And if they find a quick check on their way, they'll grab it. Otherwise, they look like they want to finish this. So we are pretty much almost in the same area here. Sparky's just a tiny bit ahead of ptoil from the checks. But both are definitely hurting for power bombs right now. So it looks like Sparky's going to try to kill some of the awesome larvae here. Just collect a few. Alright, Sparky's setting up another gravity fall here, and looks like. And ptoil's not even worrying about it, he's just dropping. So hopefully Sparky here thinks to at least check Spazer because that will net them Ice Beam. Alright, and they are going to get their Ice Beam. That will give ptoil a chance to get into either Meridia or North Fairford. It looks like we're going to be heading to Ridley for ptoil. So the thing to remember, Sparky, even though Sparky was the first one to get both suits and get tuned down, they took a little bit more time checking wreck ship, so they are behind. They have to kill Kraid still before they can move on. Whereas ptoil's already got Kraid. Looks like Sparky might check the wall item, which we know was just a reserve tank, but they changed their mind and they are off to base Mini Kraid and Kraid. We'll see if Sparky can manage to do this cleanly without Kraid going to prom with him. And ptoil is just wasting no time. They are skipping Bubble Mountain, they are skipping the Ice Beam location, they are going straight for it. And Sparky does not get the quick kill on Kraid. Alright, so now the fun part for ptoil in the room before the elevator to Lower Norfair. How will they get up? Oh, very easily. Just a grab. We also have Kraid down for Sparky. Alright, so Lower Norfair, definitely not the most pleasant area in the game. we are missing a couple items that would make this immensely easier, such as screw attack, especially for this room where you could just jump somersault through each of the blocks. Instead, you have to go through and use power bombs. Space jump would also make this room much easier, as well as the worst room in the game that's coming up. Just having plasma beam would make it immensely harder, or excuse me, immensely easier, but looks like we're just going to skip through all of that, as Toil does take down some of these awesome pirates before he has to do some fun wall jumps to get up and through this room. And he gets it on the first try. All right. Sparky makes their trip down to Norco, so they are just going to be trying to play catch up here. Whether or not they actually can, that is a great question. And even without Space Jump, Toil is just putting on a clinic on how to do that. Oh, hey, look, there is Space Jump. Sparky stops to check at least one item and is richly rewarded. That will help in terms of catching up because they don't have to do some of the trickier wall jumps to get through. At this point, they can just go through Space Jump. Meridia navigation will be much easier, especially if they don't end up finding Speed Booster. Alright, so Toil is running into a small issue here. They don't have bombs, and they've got one power bomb. So the fun thing is, where are we going to find some more power bombs there for Toil? And he's just going to come down and kill some of these nice fireflies, which didn't do anything to him, but he just needs her power. It's a good thing that Toil realized that before they went further down into lower Norfair. I don't remember when the last time Toil saved was. I think it might have been in the beginning when checking Gauntlet. Even though he's up 1-0 over Sparky at the moment, you wouldn't want to lose a game just because you don't have enough power bombs and you have to reset. This is, however, giving Sparky a chance to catch up slowly. And looking at Sparky's ammo count, they have 8 power bombs as long as they can go through this room without using too many of them, and they actually realize that they need some more, and they kill some enemies and get 2 more. And Toil is taking a safety save, which is an excellent idea, just for the very reason you don't want to get caught in the soft lock position. Alternatively, you could get all the way down here and Ridley could snipe you as well, and then you are still just as bad. So we're seeing on Sparky's screen here the benefits of Space Jump. Still slow down a little bit because they have to drop power bombs to get through these blocks without having. Toil does check the power bombs of Shame location, which just had missiles, so that's not really a big help to it. Alright, this will definitely be one spot where Sparky having Space Jump does help out immensely with this particular jumping Even though Toil got through it very quickly once he cleared out all the enemies, space jump still is just so much easier than trying to do the precise walk. So taking a moment here to farm up some energy, I would presume, as well as wanting to get some more power. Ridley, I believe, takes 30 supers, so he can hold a max of 40. So shouldn't be any question about whether or not Toil can get through Ridley. Ammo-wise, they also have Charge, Ice, and Spazer. So even if they run out of supers and regular missiles, they're not auto-dead at that point. And Sparky stopping to take a safety save as well. Alright, and Toil's had enough. 32 missiles, 32 super missiles, 17 regular missiles. They have more than enough for. And having both their suits, they don't have to worry about heat, they don't have to worry about taking increased damage from Ridley because they've got some extra protection there. So it should be just a matter of what patterns does Toil. Looks like Toil probably did miss around 4 to 5 supers there. I'm not quite sure how many. So they're gonna have to finish really off with the charge comment. No, don't think you're quite there yet. Alright. So Sparky is getting into the farm room location. Needs to be able to farm up some supers and power bombs there. They are catching up to Toil, so the longer this Ridley fight goes, the better it is for Sparky. But Ridley grabs Toil and Ridley is down. So that just leaves one boss left for Toil. And someone did call bombs earlier behind Ridley, so congrats to that person for knowing your logic. I probably never would have gotten it. But that also solves Toil's power bomb problem, so now very little chance of soft lock. The only thing Toil really needs to worry about now through the rest of Norfair is just getting out of here without that. Checking in on Sparky and their farming efforts. They've got a lot of energy, they're just not getting much in the way of super drops. At this rate, Sparky is going to have all 24 of those energy tanks that they found filled completely before they get up to 30 super. But sadly, whatever time advantage Sparky caught up from Toil having to go back and farm and not having space jump, just RNG is taking away from. Alright, 30 supers, 40 regular missiles, charge ice phaser. Ridley should go down for. And Toil does make it back to the save point with a whole 84 energy left, so at the very least, even if they die on the way out due to something like Save the Three Amigos, at the very least they don't have to go back and kill Ridley again. And right on cue, Toil dies. So with how far down Toil is in energy, this actually does give Sparky a chance to catch up a little bit, as long as Sparky comes out of Ridley with a lot of health. Toil's just gonna have to take it very slow. They don't have plasma, so they can't shoot. They don't have waves, so they can't shoot through walls. Plasma, so they don't have piercing, as that lovely key hunter comes down and snipes Toil again. Alright, and Ridley has grabbed Sparky and is exploding, so now we are back even on bosses. Sparky's in much better shape coming out of this room as well. So Sparky gets their bombs, and we are at 4 health for Toil. I say if anyone has any extra energy, definitely send it to Toil right now. They definitely need your energy. But at the very least, they found a good spot where they could just shoot through the open area there and kill both key hunters. Got a little bit of health from. Just has to continue to take it slow through here. They can take maybe 2 hits or 1 hit from one of these guys before they. Looks like they're gonna check over here and see if there was an energy tank, but nope, just a. And Toil only getting rewarded with small energy drops as opposed to the big one. And not even the item locations are cooperating with him, as we get a missile pack instead of an energy. And taking a very smart damage boost over there to get thrown into the wall instead of dropping into the lava. Even though the lava in the upper Norfair area does not hurt you with both your suits, the lava in lower Norfair will. And the Franker Z missiles, or SMRAT missiles as some call them, just supers. Sparky is rapidly catching up. As they see their SMRAT missiles, and it's just more supers. Benefits of picking them up there, though, is that you now have 5 more missiles to throw at the 3 amigos. Ptoil does manage to take down all 3, and they are now very close to Bubble Mountain. I thought those were Smokey. I need like a flowchart of item locations and what we call them. Alright, Ptoil has successfully made it into Bubble Mountain, so Ptoil's life has now been made immensely easy. And at least I had the name right the first time. And Toil has found a good place to farm. I wouldn't expect to see him do too much here. Just need to get a little bit so that way you don't get 3-shot by an unfortunate enemy. They're going to try to get glitched through the blue. Sparky definitely has an advantage where they do not have to stop and refill, which is what Toil has come and done using the energy recharge station. So now it's a race to Meridia and Dragon. Phoenix, they may pick up speed if they come across it in their direct path, but I don't think either of them are actively looking for anything much at all at this point. Even without speed, they've got Ice Beam so they can get through the room before Batoon using a Ice Clip instead of the normal speed booster. Nope, he just needed to get energy, dying multiple times in Lower Norfair post Ridley to Key Hunters. They just needed. And we have synced power bomb detonations. So this is where we're going to see Sparky really shine, having the space jump versus Toil not having it. That one check could easily end up being the difference here in this. So Sparky's going to be able to just space jump right up here. No problems, no menuing. Toil's going to have to do a couple gravity jumps. But at least they can get through without too much difficulty. It's just slower, unfortunately, for Toil. So Sparky choosing to save. I guess they're going to check sand pits. Maybe they are still looking for a speed booster. They may not be completely comfortable with the Ice Beam clip, or in the event they run out of ammo or die. Because the thing with the Ice Clip is that you do have to take some damage while you're luring the mock droid to the correct location. Alright, and Sparky gets the Ice Clip. They are off to Batoon. Alright, and Toil gets their Ice Clip as well, so we are now seeing double Batoons here. The fun thing about this fight is that in the beginning, Batoon moves slow, so you have plenty of opportunities to hit him with super missiles. The more damage you do, the more angry they get, and the faster they are. So you see that Sparky's out of super missiles and having to resort to charge shots in order to take Batoon down, where Toil moves right. Alright, so another advantage that's actually going to come into play here is actually something that I mentioned a little bit earlier that's actually going to be in Toil's favor now. We are coming up on the Dragon fight, and Toil has found the grappling. So being low on supers, not having speed booster, not having plasma, ptoil can just choose to fry Dragon. And of course, ptoil also has an advantage in farming. But not often that I see both runners in the same room farming, but that's slightly new. Alright, now we're both moving on. So even though, again, Sparky's a little bit behind right now, ptoil having to stop and do wall jumps, or even if they choose to use their grappling beam, just not going to be nearly as fast as what Sparky can do just going through with. So through the false spikes, and ptoil is entering in Dragon. Sparky does stop and pick up the supers outside Dragon's room. Probably was hoping for plasma right. Alright, and even though ptoil does have grappling beams, starting out at least with super missiles, trying to soften up Dragon. Yep, and choosing just to continue pounding super missiles into Dragon. Sparky doesn't have a choice but to employ the same strat, as they don't have speed booster and no grappling beam. And ptoil has Dragon down, so now they can enter into Torian. And ptoil is going to take a moment to check what Dragon is having, and it's just more missile. Alright, so we're going to see a gravity jump out of here as well. Sparky just trying to finish off Dragon. Seems to be about 1 or 2 hits away. And Dragon is down for Sparky. So at this point here, I wouldn't expect to see either runner do any more item checks. Probably the only stop that they'll make between here and Mother Brain will be in the ship to get a refill. Even though they do have the charge beam to take down Mother Brain, it's definitely really slow if you're doing just charge ice phaser shots, and you still have to deal with Metroids and the Zepatites before that. Thank you, Smokey. So it'd be 100 charge ice phaser shots versus if they had 60 supers, they could just throw those. But having 45 is definitely good. That should leave them with just needing, if my math is right, just 25 charge shots. Provided they don't miss. Alright, so Sparky did another ice clip to get out. And Sparky's gonna have to do the same thing here. Alright, and Sparky's on their way out of Meridia. Alright, so at this point here, ptoil's going to come out of Meridia around the Red Tower area, pretty much at the top of Red Tower. So the advantage that Sparky had from that moment, having space jump, doesn't really exist very much anymore. There's not that many rooms left that being able to infinitely jump in the air is going to be advantageous. So a lot of it's going to be, can Sparky catch up execution-wise to ptoil? Alright, so we got ptoil stop at the ship, so they will be full back up on ammo, and they're going to do a quick save. And Sparky's coming up on the ship as well. Alright, so Sparky's refilled, as well as making their final run over to the entrance to Torin. One of the nice things about the randomizer that you don't have to go through versus the original game is that the Golden 4 statue, whereas normally when you would defeat a boss and you go visit the statue, you see the eye go dark and then pop out, and that particular statue go dark instead of its nice gold color. In this game, or in this mod, the statues are already down at the bottom. So you just jump on through down to the elevator. So ptoil is first into Torin. They do have equal advantages in terms of weaponry in here. Finding that ice beam is a huge deal here, because now you can just simply freeze a Metroid and throw 1 super at it, or 5 regular missiles, and you do not have to deal with getting the Metroid stuck on you or killing it with power bomb. If you do get the Metroid stuck on you, the only way to get loose is to throw a bomb down, so that way it knocks them off. You could also alternately do 3 power bombs for each one. As we see ptoil here, he's taking the Metroids on it. Maybe trying a little bit too much swag here. Alright, so there you go. So he was able to freeze all 3 in place at once and take them out with 1. And you see the power bomb strat employed by Sparky there. So ptoil is done with all the small Metroids. He only has 1 Metroid to remain to do. It's our man-child here. Everyone say hello to the baby Metroid. So, some players, if with the right gear, you can try to do a skip where the baby does not grab you. It does save some time. However, if unfortunate things happen, you can actually get glitched to where you leave the room with the game thinking the baby is still attached to you, and you are stuck moving very slow for the rest of the game. But ptoil does not go for that strategy. and Sparky likely will not either, as they have taken off their suits and they just want to get damage down as quickly as possible. So at least one of our runners faced to the right here, which does save them 40 frames for the speedrunning fan. Hopefully they can put those 40 frames to good use later on in saving the animals. Alright, so Sparky's going to have to get their energy refilled right here as Toil goes right into the last room where Mother Brain is. They are going to do an ice Zeb skip here where they will freeze one of the Rinkas in place, and then they will use that to basically get immunity through the Zeb type. They're not quite getting the Rinka frozen in place. Nope, missed again. I believe part of the problem may be that they don't have wave beam, which I think makes this immensely easy. Alright, they got the freeze in the right spot there, and he is through the Zeb type. This particular glitch does have the added benefit that the other Zeb types do not spawn behind that first one if you do not kill the first one. So now we see Toil pretty much recreating the scene from the opening cinematic here, where you're just firing missiles into the Mother Brain. And we are on to phase 2 for Toil. Sparky was so close to getting the Zeb skip the first try there. So you'll see that Toil already shot a lot of super missiles into Mother Brain, and now they're switching to their charge shots. The added benefit of this is that while you could just shoot all your supers at once and trigger the what they call the catch-up phase, that does put you at a disadvantage because then you are stuck in that phase longer. If you get knocked down below a certain energy level, Mother Brain can kill you. So it's always better to have some supers for the very end instead of trying to do charge beam shots during that phase. So once we see the first catch-up beam here from Mother Brain, we'll likely see Toil start and unload the rest of the super missiles, as we see right now. Alright, and Sparky did manage to get through the Zeb skip as well, so they are going to be going into phase 1 Mother Brain. And we've got a rainbow beam attack for Mother Brain. And it does not look like we're going to do any kind of stand-up glitch here. So Sparky starting their phase 2 fight, and we see the baby come back on and save us to everyone's cheering. If this reminds you of a Game of Thrones episode where the good guys might win unscathed, it's probably because it does. Alright, so Sparky put off some charge beam shots first on Mother Brain. Now they are choosing to unload their packs of supers. Also an equally valid way to do it. Alright, everyone can say RIP in chat to Metroid. But that does give us the awesome hyper beam now for the last portion of the mother. And it looks like Sparky's actually gonna possibly. Ooh, no, I guess I was gonna stand up glitch, but very close to no health. Not sure how much they had in the reserve, probably a full reserve considering that they did a ship refill, but that 2 health still scary. Alright, and Toil finishes off Mother Brain, and we are now in the escape sequence. The only thing left our runners have to do at this point is save the animals and then back. And sadly for Toil, without space jump, without speed booster, more so than space jump, there is no real fast way to do it. Alright, and Baby makes the appearance on the EvilSparky side. We wait with anticipation to see if Toil makes it out of here before the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds tick off the clock and the planet explodes. Doing a very good wall jump up the side there. And now we get the long climb up the final part of the old Torian. Or even with the planet exploding here, this room is still easier than the original. Alright, Sparky's got their hyper beam. They're letting Mother Brain have it in retaliation of the Metroid. Toil paused for a moment. I thought maybe they would go down and save the animals, but considering that there is still a race in the line, I don't blame them. Although they were up 1 game to nothing, so I think they could. Alright, so Toil has gotten back to the ship and finished with an official SRL race time of 1 hour and 13 minutes and 1 second. So good game to Toil. Sparky will be right behind them as they start their. Alright, so Sparky's getting about halfway through escape so far, getting knocked all the way back down to the end. We'll see if Toil wants to come in for an interview, and we'll also invite Sparky in after that as well, after they've. And this was a very good race, as Dark points out. Back and forth. After Sparky found the 2 suits early in the game, I figured that would have been the advantage that Sparky needed to take this to a game 3, but Toil just came back and was a little bit better execution. And Toil has declined an interview, but Toil will move on to the next round of the tournament. And yes, Toil, it was definitely a close race. Alright, and Sparky is going down to save the animals, as long as they don't troll them. Alright, no trolling here. Alright, good job, Sparky. Save the animals. You may not have gotten the win in the race, but you win in my heart. Alright, they're going to do an escape from Alcatraz sequence here to get out. Alright, Sparky makes it to the ship. Sparky has finished their run with an SRL time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 52 seconds. We see on Doyle's side where a couple of things were. So Plasma Beam was in wrecked ship, and Speed Booster was at Cross. So we'll invite Sparky in for an interview here, see if they would like to come in and say a few words about the scene. And they have accepted, so we'll get them in here in just a moment. Hi Sparky, welcome and good game. Maybe. Alright, so Sparky joined the voice chat. We're just giving them a moment for their Discord to catch. I'm also pulling up the schedule here while we wait on Sparky. Looks like this is the last race of tonight. We have 3 races on the schedule tomorrow. We have what looks like a back-to-back between Cheese Reaver and Zev 316 starting at 6 o'clock. And then we have Tracy M and Amadeus Zeno. I have a feeling I butchered that name. That is at 9 o'clock. So if you want to see those races, definitely check us out tomorrow at those times. And we are also looking for volunteers always for commentating, tracking, restreaming. So if you want to help out, join the Discord and someone can help get you set up.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Hey Sparky, I saw your name click, but didn't hear you.
Excellent. Well, GG's. That was a great match. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Alright, so Sparky can talk with chat, but I don't hear him, so that's fun. But we can do this anyways. I do have one question for you, Sparky. What made you go up Red Tower at the beginning?
Test 1, test 2. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Dark, unfortunately, I'm not hearing anything out of Discord.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can both hear you. I'm just coming in to mention that for whatever reason, Sailor's audio is not going to the right place, so we can hear you in chat.
Oh. Well, that's good.
So
Well,
she's
yeah,
going to be asking
GG's.
the questions in live splits, possibly, unless you're in chat.
Gotcha. Let's see. I didn't see the red tower question, not in the chat. Let me pop over there. But overall, the seed was pretty nice. I was pretty much in go mode as soon as I got gravity suit and various suit. It was like I didn't really need anything else. Like, oh, I guess when I got ice, that was like true go mode for me. I was like really excited. And concerning red tower, I just kind of took a gamble. I was like, well, I have enough, stuff to go do wreck ship early, so I was just gonna go do that anyway. Figured it'd be decent. Maybe I could get some stuff out of there. Basically, just hoping my opponent didn't know like CWJ or anything. There we go. Now in the chat.
Hey, I can hear Sparky now.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, sorry about that. Trying to get all the bugs worked out of my system.
No worries.
Yeah, I didn't really hear any of your answers, but that's okay because I presume you gave them to chat, which is more important than me hearing.
It was mostly I was really excited about seeing gravity and various so early, and then as soon as I saw ice, I was like, well, that's go mode, so I can get through Meridia with that. And then the red tower, I just kind of took a gamble. I was like, well, I'm on my way to. I was going to do early wreck ship anyway. I have enough missiles. I had a ton of E tanks and gravity suit at that point, so might as well.
Yeah, you guys were like force-fed energy tanks early, which was really ironic considering that ptoil had such a hard time getting out of Lower Norfair, where he died multiple times to the key hunters outside the safe.
Oh man, yeah, those key hunters are dirty.
Right. So all those energy tanks that we found early, there was nothing in the lower Norfair section which would have saved either.
Dang. Yeah, it was like just so heavy on the E-tanks, which I didn't mind. You know, it's like there's a few of them I was trying to jump over, but I accidentally just jumped into it. I was like, well, I guess we'll take another one.
Right. So since I don't, are you in the loser bracket part of this tournament? I'm not 100% sure on the tournament structure. What's next for Sparky?
I need to check that really quick, but I can see. Let's see. Well, I guess next up, I'm doing I'm in the bracket stage for the Plandomizer tournament for Zelda over on the Game Racing channel. That's going to be pretty cool.
That definitely should be good. Done the Zelda randomizer. That's what led me to Super Metroid randomizer.
Yeah, I did. Like, I first started playing Super Metroid randomizers when the first combo randomizer came out, when it was just a baby, and like it was hard mode logic, so I had to really like get good at a lot of these tricks, like really fast.
Yep. What's your hardest trick in Super Metroid at this point? What gives you trouble still?
Probably. Honestly, it's embarrassing, but it's the speed booster trick across Coliseum. I still can't get it right. Like the timing is just weird for me. And but otherwise, I can pretty much do a lot of other stuff. I could do Suitless Meridia, all that stuff. I'm gonna be in that RBO tournament that's gonna be on the SRA coming in July, so that'll be pretty tight.
Yep, that I definitely look forward to seeing. Something I'm not going to choose to do because I don't want to die repeatedly, but good luck in that tournament, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. But overall, I bet this was a really close race. Like seeing that dot done in Mother Brain feels pretty good, you know?
Yeah, I think I would always prefer to have a close race than a blowout because you guys did the only real difference that you guys had is that you went up Red Tower first and Toil went down into Norfair and then went to High Jump before they made their way back up to Red Tower. And of course, Toy also killed Kraid before Norfair.
Right. That's not a bad idea. I mean, was there anything good in High Jump? I was definitely wondering about that because I was like, well, I'm just going to skip all this stuff. So
I think an energy tank.
it's nothing too vital, but yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed that.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts before we sign off here?
No, I mean, GG's to ptoil. Good luck on the next matchup you got going on. Thank you to you, Sailor Jade. Thank you to Dark Rid. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes. I know how much it takes to put on these tournaments and stuff. And the chat, of course. You know, what would we be without the chat and people watching?
Yep, definitely. I would say one thing, definitely give the two runners a follow, as you can also see Toil doing some crazy stuff on his stream still since he's still live. Definitely thank you to Dark Red for being our restreamer this evening. But with that, we will definitely cut it off there.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
You guys in chat have a good night as well.